The year is 48 CE. A 15-year-old girl steps into the grand halls of the Palatine Palace. White silk flows around her body, and myrtle leaves rest upon her golden hair. Senators rise in respect. Crowds cheer in celebration. Emperor Claudius, 50 years old, limping slightly and speaking with difficulty, takes her hand. His name is already famous. Hers will become infamous. Valeria Messalina. Remember it, because Rome tried to erase it. The empire expects her to bring renewal. The stains of Caligula's murder have barely been cleaned from the palace floors. For years of cruelty, madness, executions, and scandal left Rome desperate for order. They need heirs, dignity, and peace. They present this young bride as the answer. Yet within 10 years, she will turn the palace into a place of fear and corruption. Senators will become trapped in her influence. Noble families will send daughters into her chambers and see them return changed, silent, burdened by secrets. Stories claim she hosted shocking competitions, manipulated powerful men, and used blackmail on a massive scale. In the end, she would publicly marry another man while still empress, as though daring Rome to challenge her. When Rome finally responded, her statues were smashed, her name carved out of inscriptions, and official records altered to pretend she had never lived. Damnatio memoriae, the destruction of memory. And yet, 2,000 years later, people still speak of her, because the stories history tries hardest to bury are often the ones that survive. Let us return to 38 CE. Rome appears strong. Markets are busy. Senators debate policy. Children run through the forum. But decay already hides beneath the surface. Tiberius has recently died, isolated and hated. Then came Caligula, whose short reign became synonymous with terror and excess. Finally, in 41 CE, the Praetorian Guard assassinated him. The city panicked. Who would rule next? They found Claudius hiding behind a curtain, the awkward uncle mocked for his limp and speech problems. He had never expected power, yet the guards declared him emperor simply because Rome needed stability immediately. Claudius understood he needed legitimacy, an heir, a dynasty, proof the empire still had a future. So he married Valeria Messalina, his young relative, only 15 years old. Beautiful, noble-born, and trained to embody Roman virtue, she seemed perfect on paper. The Senate approved. The people rejoiced. But no one asked what happens when a child is placed at the center of unlimited power. What happens when someone raised to be obedient suddenly lives in a palace where every door opens at command, where senators bow, where her only value has been tied to purity and motherhood? Rome was about to discover the answer. The first years appeared ideal. Messalina gave birth to a daughter, Octavia, then a son, Britannicus. The empire now had heirs. Publicly, she behaved as the perfect Roman wife. Modest clothing, lowered gaze, carefully measured gestures. Privately, rumors spread. Roman society separated women into strict roles, the respectable wife and the prostitute. Messalina, according to later writers, crossed that boundary. Ancient accounts claim she disguised herself, visited brothels, and sought thrills outside palace walls. Whether exaggerated or not, the stories reflected Roman anxiety about a woman refusing the role assigned to her. More serious were the accusations of political abuse. Sources describe banquets where influence was traded through humiliation, fear, and manipulation. Powerful men became compromised. Families feared displeasing her. Enemies disappeared. Whether every tale is true or embellished, her reputation became one of domination through scandal and secrecy. Meanwhile, Claudius governed efficiently, building aqueducts, reforming courts, and expanding Rome into Britain. He may have known the rumors, but acting against the mother of his children risked disgrace and instability. So he ignored what he could. Then came 48 CE. Claudius was in Ostia managing Rome's grain supply when shocking news reached him. Messalina had publicly married Gaius Silius, a rising senator, while still legally married to the emperor. This was no hidden affair. Witnesses attended. Contracts were signed. Vows were exchanged in daylight. Was it a coup attempt? A reckless gamble? Or had she simply come to believe no law could touch her? Claudius's trusted advisor Narcissus rushed to tell him. More reports confirmed the impossible story. This time denial was no longer possible. Claudius returned to Rome with the Praetorian Guard. Messalina was found in the gardens of Lucullus with her mother. Some say she begged for mercy. Others say she stood in disbelief, unable to imagine her power had ended. When soldiers arrived, she tried to take her own life, but could not. A tribune killed her. Valeria Messalina died at 25 years old. Claudius ordered damnatio memoriae. Her statues were broken. Her name was erased. Rome declared that she had never existed. But memory is harder to destroy than marble. Claudius remarried quickly to Agrippina the Younger, who would later poison him and place her son Nero on the throne. Messalina's children also met tragic ends. Octavia was executed by Nero, and Britannicus was poisoned while still a teenager. How much of Messalina's legend is true? We cannot know with certainty. Our main sources were male writers working decades later, often hostile to powerful women. Roman propaganda frequently painted influential women as sexually corrupt. That does not mean she was innocent. Her marriage to Silius is well attested. Political intrigue surrounded her court, but the lurid tales may reveal as much about Roman fears as about Messalina herself. What remains certain is this. A teenage girl was married to a man in his 50s, valued for beauty and fertility, given enormous influence without wisdom or preparation, then condemned when she used that power in ways Rome despised. Her name was meant to vanish. Instead, it became immortal. Messalina's story is not only about scandal. It is about what happens when power becomes entertainment, when shame becomes leverage, and when institutions become too compromised to defend themselves. Rome tried to erase her. History remembered.